In this video, we look at The Witcher behind-the-scenes moments revealed. The series is based on the computer game and the books with the same title. This phenomenally successful show aired on Netflix the first time on December 20th, 2019. We wanted to know more about what happened behind the scenes, so we went looking. Behind the scenes. So let's take a closer look at what kind of things happened behind the scenes of The Witcher. Some cameramen had to perform stunts with the actors. James Frater, who filmed the majority of Henry Cavill's battle scenes, wanted to make sure he captured the most authentic and climactic moments of each big scenario. This necessitated operating a steady cam right alongside the action, even if the action abruptly changed environments. While Geralt confronts the Striga, they both crash through the floor at the same time. Frater had to stay with them as they descended to the next level, keeping his camera steady throughout. These kinds of tracking views are crucial for making viewers feel like they're right in the middle of the action. Henry Cavil did his own stunts. Henry Cavil believed it was critical to undertake all of his own stunts in order to convey the most authentic version of Geralt of Rivia on screen. That's a very Superman thing to do, don't you think? Netflix execs offered him a stunt double, but he refused because he believed viewers would be able to tell he wasn't the one wielding the sword. He always had a sword in his hand while he wasn't on stage. He rehearsed whenever he could, including in between takes, with 3 at home and 4 on set. His fighting seemed so fluid and dangerous, especially during the Blaviken Market Brawl, because of his adherence to authenticity and commitment to the character. A lot of Geralt's dialogue was cut from the show. Geralt had a lot more conversations when Lauren Schmidt was writing the script. Henry Cavil shot all the written moments, but she discovered in the editing room that he could convey a lot of the content of his lines by facial expressions and body language. Over half of his conversation was removed in the end, transforming him into the gigantic brooder we see on television. Cavil's acting captures much of what Geralt is going through, leaving the chattier banter to Jaskier or Yennefer. Cavil put a lot of effort into creating Geralt a distinct Rivian accent. Anyas Body did not make use of a body double for her nude scenes. Despite her qualms about being naked in front of the camera, Anyas Body thought it was vital to accurately convey Yennefer's experience. Producers offered her a body duplicate for her love scenes, but she declined after seeing how it appeared during her first personal act with Istrid. She felt like she needed to commit to Yennefer's emotional metamorphosis in those scenes and use her body language to portray all of her emotions, especially in close-ups. For the body change ceremony, she had to be completely naked. Does The Witcher have links to Game of Thrones? The Witcher is inextricably linked to Game of Thrones, another iconic medieval fantasy series. There are a few relationships as well. Despite the fact that a casting sheet specifically stated no Game of Thrones actors, 2 people were hired to be part of the cast. Vladimir Verdict, who helped train Kit Harington on Game of Thrones and played the Night King as his sworn enemy, choreographed the fight choreography. He taught Henry Cavil how to wield his sword with ease, even devising a balletic fighting style just for Geralt. Some visual effects were added afterwards and other tricks. Visual effects can be found in almost every scene in The Witcher, whether it's a spray of extra blood, another arrow, or a 10,000 strong Nilfgaardian army. This doesn't mean that every VFX element is visible, and even the best won't be. VFX were utilized to add sword stabbing to the carriage walls in post-production for the carriage sequence in episode 4, where an assassin tries to kill Yennefer's ward and her kid. Similarly, there were bodies of dead troops strewn about, as well as a baby who wouldn't stop screaming when they utilized a genuine infant. Henry Cavil at first did not get the part. Henry Cavil has always been a big fan of The Witcher books and games, and when he found out Netflix was developing a series, he dedicated himself to be given a part. He tried out for Geralt of Rivia, but wasn't selected, forcing them to call over 200 other actors to audition. Showrunner Lauren Schmidt says he couldn't stop hearing his voice in her head and ultimately went back and asked Cavill to read some of the series scripts again. He did so and impressed her so much that she can no longer see anyone else in the role. Elder speech is not fake. While English is a series' principal language, certain characters who can wield magic, such as Geralt and Yennefer, are fluent in Elder speech. On Drzej, Sapkowski wanted to develop a distinct language for the world he was creating in his books, much like fantasy novelist J.R. Tolkien did with Elvish for Lord of the Rings. For Game of Thrones, David J. Peterson, who invented the Dothraki and Valyrian languages, combined German, Welsh, Irish, and Latin to create Elder speech. Only a few people on the continent can still speak it, and it's mostly used for casting spells and performing rituals. It has connections to the PC game. Although the series is based on Andrzej Sapkowski's books rather than the popular video game series, it was pitched to Netflix by Tomek Baginski, an award-winning animator who helped bring the game's magnificent visuals to life. Not only that, but Baginski is a member of the production board for Platij, the Polish production firm behind the series, assuring that there are still references for fans to enjoy, even if it doesn't match the game's storylines. Consider the Geralt bathtub scene from Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's opening sequence. The show is as realistic as possible. Because too much of it would appear foolish, the series creators and showrunners realized they couldn't copy it from the games. They had the lofty job of creating a show that straddled the line between fantasy fantasies, joy and whimsy, and the roughness and realism of medieval times. Although the aesthetic features of the series are not as memorable as the video games, they are useful. As a result, Geralt only wields one blade rather than two, and his armor is less opulent. Even character growth, such as Yasser being toned down from his exuberant counterpart, reflects a more grounded tone. Now, let's have a further look at the next season of The Witcher. When is Season 2 due? By August 2020, filming for Season 2 had been completed when it was stopped by another wave of COVID-19. Paul Bouillon, who has been reported to star in the new series of The Witcher, revealed the show's filming had completed in a tweet on March 13th, 2021. It's a wrap for Lampert for S2 at Witcher Netflix. He tweeted, "I clutch my wolf medallion and express my gratitude to production for everything. It's been an honor to be part of this team. During a worldwide crisis, this team is creating something unique." Showrunner Lauren Schmidt retweeted this tweet, writing #Witcher, #Lambert, #team, #Witcher Netflix. As a result, it's safe to assume that production has wrapped and that the second season will be on our televisions before the end of the year. Netflix is expected to launch on Friday, December 17th, 2021, according to releasedate.me, which claims that this is the date. The plot for The Witcher Season 2. After invoking the Law of Surprise, a promise of magical characteristics that can have disaster effects is not fulfilled, Geralt ultimately encountered Ciri, Freya Allan, at the end of the first season, whom he became responsible for producing and protecting. Now he must keep his word and prepare for her brutal world as she has already entered after abandoning her castle's walls. This involves assisting her in mastering her abilities, which appear to be rather powerful. More than that, Kaer Morhen, the headquarters of Escola do Lobo, where Geralt spent most of his life being trained to be a wizard, will be seen in the upcoming episodes, which could indicate that Ciri's training to become a fighter as powerful as her protector has already begun. The new setting also establishes a precedent for us to learn more about Geralt and his past. As a result, more of Geralt's past will be revealed. The core of the northern countries must also be investigated deeper, particularly the kingdom of Nilfgaard, which is growing in power and advancing towards the continent's other realms. These warriors will receive new armor, which will be substantially different from that seen in the first season and may resemble that shown in the games more closely. A Fragment of Ice, a short novella popular among book readers that depicted a triangle between Geralt, Yennefer, and Istrid, might also be adapted. It's important to remember that all the characters are now in the same chronology and their stories will be recounted in order, leaving the first season's somewhat confused plot behind. At least that's our hope. The first season of the show was based on The Witcher's first two books, The Last Witch and The Sword of Destiny, neither of which are part of the main storyline. Basically, these books establish the atmosphere and provide backstory for everyone before the real story begins. This suggests that the franchise will have many more seasons. But perhaps in Season 2, everyone will be on the same time frame, making for a much smoother Netflix binge. In Season 2, we'll see that all of our characters are living in the same time frame. However, this allows us to experiment with time in slightly different ways in terms of storytelling. We get to perform flashbacks, flash forwards, and genuinely merge time in a manner that we couldn't do in Season 1, Hisrich told The Wrap. The Witcher is supremely entertaining with some immensely powerful characters. Followers of the game will know that it is also rated as one of the better RPG games ever. The series is made to thrill and does just that. We're looking forward to Season 2. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching today's video. Hope to see you back again. Until then, toss a coin to your Witcher and stay safe.